Hello, my loves. I am Ayla, and this is your collective reading. If you are finding this right now, I absolutely believe that you are meant to be here, that these messages are for you. So let's go right in and just start your reading. And the first question that I want to ask is, what do you need to know most right now? When I was tuning into the energy of this reading, my card is wanting to pop out. I kept feeling that this reading would somehow be about your peace, your internal peace. But let's see. Wow, that's so interesting. I kept feeling, oh, it's about peace. It's about like their internal peace. And so, the card that I've pulled up, as the opening card, which I always think is the most important card, it sort of sets the frame for the reading of, the theme, if you will. And the card that's come up is this Five of Wands, which is a card, it's pretty visible, the energy of that card. It is a card about conflict, and it is about that there's conflict around, wands are about action. But in this case, I feel it's not just conflict around the actions that you are taking. It is conflict around you. It is conflict from people around you. It is conflict like the energy that comes to me is I feel like people tugging at you, like everybody wants you, and it's almost like, I don't know, I see this image of it sounds a bit dark, but like of you bleeding, of blood coming off, and it's like everybody's grabbing at you. I see like almost like nails clinging into you, into your shoulders. And I just feel like I almost feel like this part of you wanting to scream, going like, enough, like no more. I am only one human. I can only do so much. I can only give so much. And something's just really off in this. You are not peaceful right now. And we're going to try and get to the bottom of why you're not peaceful and how to bring more peace into your world, because something is off. If this is the opening theme card of conflict, and the message that I received was that this reading was going to be about internal peace, then let's dive deeply into how we can bring more peace. Um, when I look at these players here, interesting that line just came out, players. I mean, that word just came out of my mouth. It's not necessarily, what this card is about, but the word that poured out was players. And so that brings up several things of like remembering that a couple of things come as that word flew out of my mouth, players. One is that let's remember that life is a game, okay? Life, this whole great tapestry of life, let's just forget for a minute all the crazy amounts of detail. And, life is so much, right? Most of us go through massive waves of struggle, me 100% included, where there's challenges and obstacles, and it can just feel like too much sometimes. And we don't know how to get through and out the other side. And it's hard sometimes in our little human experience, a little bit detached from the absolute extraordinary, magnificent, divine being that we are. When life gets hectic, we can forget that we have these godlike energies of love, peace, and joy sitting within us at deeper places in our soul that we always have access to, that it can slip us by, and we can be in it, and that's cool. That's totally normal, like me included. We all go there. And so that's one thing that comes, is we can forget that life is just this game that we chose to come in and play, from our divine aspect. And whatever, you listen to this in a way that you can bring meaning to it. If this resonates for you, great. If it doesn't, feel free to stop the recording, go find someone else who resonates more for you today. Absolutely no problem. Now, if it does resonate, I invite you to just find a way to sit with this metaphor within you, okay? Whether you're religious or spiritual, it doesn't matter. Just imagine for a moment that you had a part of you that was infinitely connected to the magic of life itself, to all that is divine, to all that is extraordinary. And imagine that you, in your wisest, most extraordinary aspect, courageously chose and plan your human life, this human life on planet Earth, right? You were like, awesome, I sign up for the journey. I'm going to pick this crazy family. I'm going to pick these crazy experiences, all this trauma, all this pain, all these challenges, because I am a friggin' boss and I am divine and I know how to overcome it. And then you get here and you're like, damn, I wish I picked like a beginner grade instead of level 64. Like that is not cool. But you didn't. You picked level 64 because you're here to alchemize some big things. If you're watching this recording, you're probably like needing to alchemize some big things. If you're anyone in my collective, probably we have a resonance. And so that is one metaphor I just want to remind you of is that just to take a moment to take an eagle's view and lens out, because when we're in it and life feels intense and we're so conflicted, it can be hard. We're so stuck and our lens is very small and very narrow, and it's really easy to go into both victim and blame in equal measures, because that is a dynamic that when we're in victim, we're also in blame, and when we're in blame, we're also in victim. And that is a dynamic that generally doesn't bring us love, peace, or joy. It generally doesn't expand us, and it generally doesn't bring us the greatest version of our life, the greatest version of our timeline. So that was the first little piece that came to me when I looked at this that I wanted to share. And the other little piece that I guess I want to say, let me just take a little moment to tune in. The line that comes to me is that you don't have to play their games. That people may throw some games your way, some unwarranted words, some energy, some drama, some conflict, what's that word that I'm looking for, where people throw their own stuff at you, like deflecting what is actually going on within them, and throwing it at you. That's the kind of energy that I get. And you're there with your wands, like trying to like in the Star Wars thing, like like battling them off with your massive ninja wand kind of thing, and you're just like, and this is about you having to make a pretty serious choice around, am I going to engage in these ludicrous freaking games of chaos, disharmony, victim, blame, all the drama that they're wanting to throw my way? Because, man, it's so tempting and so juicy, right? To go in there and I maybe get to stay the victim and get to blame the other people. And it's kind of comfy. I've definitely spent plenty of time in that energy. The only bummer with that energy is it just generally doesn't end well. Like it just generally doesn't bring the results that we desire. So that's what I sense that this call theme card is about. It's about, all right, let's get very real. A lot of stuff is being thrown into your life right now, a lot of chaos and a lot of pain and a lot of drama. And what are you going to do about it? Are you going to jump into that drama and engage in the battle? Are you going to just step completely out of that drama and create something brand new? And when I look at this card, it's really interesting. This has never stood out to me before in this card, but I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. I look at this conflict card and I see the two, well, how can I point? The two characters. You either have the choice of the red character to stay in the fiery, passionate, like, screw you, how dare you, I deserve better, like, rah, or this polka dot honeypot that is like, you know what? No, I am going to do it my way. I'm going to find my own way. I refuse to engage in this battle. And that doesn't mean that you don't have like you're allowed to be angry if people around you are throwing stuff your way that is unjust and just absolutely not okay. You're actually allowed to be angry. This card is cloaked in blue. As we know, blue is always about the any energy of communication that is clear, transparent, with integrity. The card entire background is about blue. So this is about what is not being spoken with integrity. What are you responsible for? And, with that anger within you, which is the energy that I feel coming up, is like you're angry. You're freaking rageful, actually. I'm like, "Ah." I feel this anger, inside of like, enough. I keep feeling this energy of enough. And the line that comes to me is, what are you going to do with that anger? What are you going to do with that anger? Because that's what matters most, right? Are you going to remember that your leggings are green, and connected to the earth, and you're here for self-growth? Two different colored socks on, one dark green, one white, one connected to Mother Earth herself, one sock, the other connected to spirit. Don't know how well you can see that in the video. But you're here to move through those emotions, speak what needs to be spoken, but to somehow find a way to disengage from the game. So this isn't about just unleashing every piece of rage inside you upon the other players in this game. This is about you being really responsible for the rage that has come up within you, for the anger that has been triggered because of you not honoring yourself, or because of you perhaps not knowing how to speak up sufficiently around your needs or around your boundaries. And so I get this sense of like boundaries being stepped all over, but perhaps the boundaries actually weren't fully articulated or spoken in a really clear, transparent manner. So that I get the line of almost like expecting people to just know what you need, or expecting people to do better or treat you with more respect or more integrity. But as we know, life is a freaking tough teacher, and we are here to teach people how to treat us. It is our job to set those boundaries, to turn up for ourselves, to be a master, to face our triggers when we are triggered, as happens, oh my gosh, on the game of life. And to do what needs to be done to move through our emotions. That is not burying that rage. That is maybe going for a drive and closing your windows and screaming the bejesus out of what, into a pillar, whatever you need to do. You get that rage out of you. You journal that rage through you. You art that rage out. You release that rage so that you can have an appropriate conversation with boundaries and integrity and self-respect. And then you step into that polka dot player and you say, I choose a different game. I choose a brand new game, a brand new way to play. No, I will not play this toxic game one more day. I am done. You are done with that game. Amen to that. I feel this relief. I'm like, whoa, thank God. Thank God that game. You are landing in a place of like, no more. No more. I will not do it. All right. And so what do we need to know now? What do we need to know now to support you in stepping out of that energy? What do you need to know around stepping out of that energy? Okay. Interesting. Interesting. We have the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups, absolutely beautiful card. Okay. This is a card of bringing harmony and peace. The cup cards are about emotions. And in this Two of Cups, we have the masculine and the feminine energies coming together. So there is a softness and a power. There is intuition and there's courage and strength and action. And they are both drinking from their sacred chalices. We have the sacred serpents here entwined, and we have this very cool lion/combo creature looking over them, representing a broader view and strength. And this is, as I said, like almost extending from that initial card where it was like the two parts of you, the little inner demon and the little inner angel, the demon that wants to fight and the angel that's going, you can do better. Get your polka dot outfit on, get out of that friggin' circus, and let's start taking some action for self-honoring and self-responsibility. And so we step into this card in what to do. And this card is about your number one job is to bring, this card is about harmony, it's about a higher perspective, it is about internal strength. And your number one job is to bring that to yourself and your life. So, because it has come up as the Two of Cups, there's many ways that this message could have come up, but because it's come up as the Two of Cups, this card is often about some type of union or a harmonious result. Okay, this is a harmonious conversation. Once again, we have the blue in the background. Okay, it is a lighter blue than the prior card, slightly lighter. But there is the blue cloak on one of the beings, the yellow on the other, drinking from these beautiful yellow cups. And, I just feel this courage. I feel this courage to just have a conversation, but not from a place of rage. This is about, this is like, I feel the line that comes is peace offering, but not like a swallow your rage and just do what people want. No, hella to the no. This is about face your truth, grow your backbone, acknowledge what you need in your expression of your emotions and the role that you played in that battle. And what do you need to do to bring harmony to this situation? And what that means is harmony to yourself, harmony to your inner feminine and your inner masculine. Okay, the part of you that's connected to your softness, your gentleness, the need for nurturing, and the part of you that is connected to your practical world and the need for speaking up and the need to be strong. This could look like, so it depends on what resonates for you, my loves. This could look like an internal journey of facing that within yourself, and it could look like an actual conversation that needs to happen with someone in your life, perhaps one of those people from that battle. You may not need to speak to all of them. There may need to be a conversation with one, and there may need to be no conversations with anyone other than a serious conversation with yourself around how you want to navigate turmoil in your life and challenges when they come. And the way I keep seeing those hands clawing and grasping, how to manage everybody wanting stuff from you, how to manage that from a higher perspective and with more internal strength. Remembering when I look at these snakes, which I haven't spoken about yet, it reminds me of that. I think it has a word, but I forget that word. It's linked, like the snakes are linked to like this universal healing symbol. And so when I look at that, I feel that this is how you heal, is balancing your masculine and your feminine. So you nurture and honor what you need, and you do the practical things that need to be done. You speak up, you create the changes around the structure and your boundaries. And that's how you create harmony with the two serpents. The two serpents don't just like rise like little epic phoenixes creating this epicness. They sit there, totally connected to that beautiful lion eagle creature because there's a willingness to honor the softness and the strength. This card is about softness and strength, and we need both. We need both, and it's really interesting. I'm just looking, I've never noticed that before, but with the feminine character who has the softer energy, she has red shoes on, and red shoes are about passion, and red is always about that base chakra, about passion. And that deep core survival needs of what our deep core worth. And this is about that being passionate around your softness around your need for nurturing, around your need for reverence to self, being passionate about that. Walking through life like it's her shoes, walking through life. Yes, she's wearing this pure white gown connected to divinity. Yes, she's got this, blue sort of overthrow garment uh, connected to her speaking with integrity and her speaking up for herself. But her shoes are red, and that is like walking through life, wanting to do more than just survive, wanting to stay strong, connected in her needs. This is like, what does she need? What is she willing to do? Her wreath is green. What does she need to do to grow herself? And in the background, there's this tiny little cottage. There's green rolling fields. It feels harmonious and beautiful and soft and kind of lovely. So there's this softness to this card, but this strength that overrides it with that being, with the lion eagle. So this is really remembering that the path through comes from honoring that you're this soft, vulnerable, innocent human that sometimes just really experiences pain and feels overwhelmed and doesn't know how to move through things, and the part of you that has the capacity to get you through. You're both. You're both. And this card can also be about having a harmonious conversation with someone from a place of healing and integrity, not from a place of blame, but from a place of mutual responsibility. Woof! Pretty cool, my darlings. Pretty cool. So, what is the next card that wants to come up? This one. What else do you need to know around the practical steps of doing this? Okay. This is about the practical steps of doing this. Show you this card and just the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands this is a wonderful card to come up at this point in this reading for you, my loves. The Three of Wands is clearly this character. We can see that they are looking out. They have an expanded view and they are looking out into the distance. The card is covered in yellow around this will and this courage. This is about being courageous. They are cloaked in red, so there is a deep passion around meeting their needs. They have the green, reminding us that they're growing. But what's interesting is we don't see their face, we see their back. We see that they are looking out into something expansive because what they're wanting to do is they want to go on some type of voyage. And in this case, what I feel we're talking about is an emotional voyage, an energetic voyage that is going to be life-changing. Yeah, so this is about maybe not knowing how to traverse those oceans. It's interesting when I look out. It's like there's these little boats in the ocean, but the ocean is bright yellow as well. So yellow and orange, the orange is all about your desires. What do you desire? You desire peace. You desire a massive change. You desire an end to this kind of just what feels like insane amounts of I don't know. I hear that and it reminds me of like this circus, of like this like wheel, this little rat on a wheel spinning, and you're done. You want to end that game. You're like, no more, no more, no more. I refuse to keep playing this game. But you don't know how to create the change. You don't know how to create the change. And this card is about accessing a whole new level of courage to remember that you are worthy of the kind of life that you desire, a life that is fulfilling, of a brand new voyage in your life. And by voyage, I mean I'm in a chapter of your life. Life is constantly about chapters and voyages, be that we do it in the same physical location, but it's still a new chapter and a new voyage. This is about you desiring a very new voyage. You're like, I am done with this story, with this circus. I refuse to do it the same way. I'm a little bit scared, like to do it. I don't fully know how to do it. I'm a bit scared, but this is about being willing to step out and try things differently. This is a willingness to try something different. The ones are about action, and in this case, this is about trying a new way of handling challenging people in your life that you may still want in your world, but there's going to have to be some big changes in how you navigate those relationships because currently there might be some toxic stuff there where you are being disrespected and just playing out some old stories. So this is about change, newness, and you're in charge, holding that wand in your hands ready for action. Final card for this reading. What is going to give you the courage to act? What is going to give you the impetus? Interesting. The King of Wands has come up. The King of Wands. Here we have the Three of Wands. Knowing that you're desiring a new journey and that it's your job to take some action. And then we have the King of Wands. Knowing that actually what's beautiful about this is the king is, the final card. Whenever we have a king, it's the final card of that suit. So the king has been through that whole journey. The king, I feel this card represents several things. One is a reminder that you can do this, that you have actually mastered this. And the king has come up as a reflection and a reminder that you are stronger than you know. You are stronger than you know. You are more courageous than you know, more capable than you know. You have it inside you to honor your passions and your desires, your desire for a more peaceful life. He doesn't look like he's got a battle. Like what's interesting is we started with the battle. Where am I going here? Started with the battle, but we end with the king. This is about what action do you need to take to resolve the conflicts in your life? And by conflicts, that could mean actual conflicts, or it could mean whatever that word conflict means to you, but it's disharmony. It's an energy of overwhelm, of too much, of stress, of chaos, of just there's no peace. That card has zero peace energy in it. There is no peace in that card, but you've gotten your polka dotted little outfit on after expressing the rage. You've tuned in to honoring the masculine and and the female energies within you in order to see things from a different, higher perspective, accessing your strength and accessing this higher view. You found a willingness to do things differently, to go on a journey, that you deserve this kind of newness in life. But when I look at this card this time, I feel like a little bit of fear, and that's normal. That's okay. You're allowed to be a bit scared because I feel like this card cloaked in its courage. Like you're like, what if they get angry? What if they don't like me speaking up? What if I lose someone? Like, what if I do it wrong? What if I make it worse? Like, I just keep hearing these threads of what if, what if, what if. And the line that comes is you never know if you never try. It's a little bit overused cliche. I don't normally do cliches, but that line just poured in. So I'm using it. You never know if you never try. And it's actually really true. We can sit there looking forever But unless he steps out onto that threshold and jumps into that golden lake, he's never going to know whether he can swim in those golden waters and reach the destination of a new version of more courageous living that he actually desires. And really, what he wants is to become the king of his actions, where little by little, I mean, you don't get from the three to the king in one step. The king is all about realizing that, yep, you've got a journey to go here, my love. You've got a journey to go. This journey is about you taking little steps of growth. There's growth all over these little wands. You taking little steps, honoring, um, honoring the path that is unknown when you take courageous action. It's an unknown path. So much easier to stay in the game, stay in the battle with the players. That's heaps easier to change nothing. No one likes change. Change is scary, right? But unless we're willing to create change, we never get to become the king. And the king is what we want. The king, we land in the king by taking many, many tiny steps. He's got a journey, right? He's got a journey to the other side. He has to swim or find a way, hitch a boat ride across that golden lake to get to the mountains on the other side. He doesn't know how he's going to do that. But there's purple, peaceful mountains on the other side, and he's looking at them, frothing, going, I so want those mountains. But I have to swim, I have to traverse that friggin' entire lake. How am I going to get there? He does not know. He does not know. You do not know how you're going to get there. This is about one step at a time, one action at a time, trusting that one little boat will come to help, then another, then you'll learn a new swimming stroke, then perhaps some magical, frickin' awesome sea serpent will come, and support you the rest of the way. Like, we don't know how the help is going to come. But the King of Wands is about taking consistent baby steps of action. It is about remembering that, with the lizard here, that even if you have lost a lot, you might have lost your tail, like the little lizard can lose his tail, you know. You might have lost your tail. You might have lost a piece of you that you feel you don't know how to get back, that you're never getting it back. I feel like I want to say you might have lost a piece of your heart, that has turned cold and gone hard out of survival. And your little lizard without its tail is looking at you going like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to swim across that lake. I don't know how to become a king, but the line that comes to me with this card for you is that the king is already inside you. And so this is not about how do I become the king? This is about how do I access the king that is already within me? And that is how do I take the action steps that I need to honor myself and to get myself into a place of more peace in my life? How do I end the games and the drama? How do I take the kind of actions? How do I create the kind of structures that I need to bring harmony and peace into my life? And that feels like your complete reading for today, my loves. I will leave my details in the comments in the description below for any of you who want to know more about my work, reach out for some type of session, or learn about intuition training that I do. And I would love to hear from any of you in the comments around how this resonated for you. For now, I send you so much love, healing, honoring, and support. In the face of no matter what else is happening in your life, I send you my whole heart full of love, supporting you, shining over you, having every faith in your capacity to live the grandest version of yourself and your life. Until next time, many, many blessings. Mwah. Be magical, and I'll catch you next time. Bye, beauty.